Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Pivoting to Web3. Today we have Roger Johnson from ViiM Tech, and ViiM Tech is all of that with some outstanding developments and advances on the technology side, and his background is what I found very intriguing in this space and how he entered into Web3. So here is Roger Johnson. Roger, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I am so glad to have you here and you spending some time with me and my audience and probably your audience as well. I'm curious to know, how did you end up in the blockchain world or the tech world where you are with your background that I think was really in military? Is that where it started? How did you end up where you are today? That's the question.
Right. Well, how far back you want to go? Because you go
As far as you want to share, that's going to be important to how you got where you are today, because it's very impressive.
Right. Thank you. Well, yeah, like you said, I have a military background. I was in the United States Air Force. When I was in the Air Force, I was a geospatial / imagery analyst. So I worked in the intelligence field. And I mean, I got to travel the world. And meet all kind of people and do all kind of crazy things for our country and just in life in general. As far as blockchain, I got into blockchain in 2016. First it started in 2009. This guy was telling me about Bitcoin that I worked with. He was
2009. That's way back.
Yes. When first launch. He was an intelligence analyst, and he was telling me about Bitcoin. He was like, "It's the future of money." All these different things. But at the time, I understand what he was talking about. So I was like, "You want me to like give up real money for some digital fake money?" I was like, "That don't make any sense." But I say 2016, I had another coworker who kept telling me about Bitcoin and saying, "You gotta check it out." And so when I finally did the deep dive, I was sold, and so I've been in ever since. As far as getting into the NFT space, I got heavy into NFTs in about 2020, because my son, he's actually going to be speaking at ViiM. So I'm attending ViiM, not for myself, for my son. He's in Web3, and he's an artist, a mindfulness advocate, and he got me into the NFTs because he's an artist and he wants to do NFTs. So I got him into Web3 and blockchain as far as blockchain goes in the space. But then we were listening to all kind of different like people who do YouTube channels and stuff like that. And they were talking about NFTs, and they said NFT could be an art, anything. And so he said, I want to do that. And so he got in. And I think he was like 8 years old then, 7 or 8 years old at the time.
Wow, I remember reading about that. I was very impressed.
Right. And so that's when he got into the space. So I've been in pretty much blockchain since 2016. Really, I would say. To answer your question.
Yeah. So that means in time we got to meet your son. Hopefully I meet him while I'm at Breathe myself.
Of course, yeah.
It sounds like an outstanding story there, especially starting at 8 years old. I wish I was on the playing field at 8 years old. Took me a little while to figure out what the world was going on. So
Right.
But you got into the area of NFTs, blockchain, Web3, but your the tech and where you are now, what's most important to you? What projects are you involved with currently, or what's your business in currently that we need to understand how you got in this space? Because I saw some phenomenal technology going on that I had never seen before when I went on your site. So tell us about it.
Yes. So I'm the co-founder of a company called ViiM Tech. That stands for Virtual Interactive Innovation and Motion Technologies. I'm currently the CEO of the company, and we are a Web3 company. So let me explain how we see Web3. So most people see Web3 as just blockchain technology and crypto and NFTs.
Right.
But that's not what Web3 solely is. So when you look at the internet itself, it has like 3 layers of the architecture of the internet. You have the interactive layer of the internet, the computation layer, and then the information layer. And so Web3 blockchain is more of the information layer of Web3. And it's equivalent to, so Web 1.0, it was like SQL was like the information layer. The computation layer would be more like servers. So all your data was saved on servers. But the browser and the desktop computer was how we interacted with the internet. So the web, so that's Web 1.0. Web 2, fast forward Web 2.0, that's when we get the smartphones and the applications, and that's how we now interact with the internet. And so now Web 3.0 is what my company is, and we have smart glasses, so augmented reality glasses, and the way you would interact with the internet will be the space around you. And so when you walk around outside, you will be able to access the internet in your everyday life, look at a building through our technology, learn information about the building, just whatever you need to do. And then you have the computation layer with that, overlay that with AI. And so AI and 5G, 6G would be a part of all that. And then the information layer is blockchain. So it's a convergence of everything, which is Web3. So it's the interaction layer, which is the smart glasses, or even the goggles, I guess you want to say, the spatial web. That's what we're creating, a spatial browser. We call it the spatial web. And so when people see what Apple and Google, they understand this. This is why Apple, when they had the Vision Pro, they're talking about spatial computing because they understand that this is Web3. But they're trying to roll it out slowly so people wrap their hands around it and understand what's about to happen. So, and this will be in the next 3-4 years. We grow fast.
So that's going to be something to see and wrap your head around, because right now, that's why I have Pivoting to Web3. It was something that I thought was necessary because it took me a little bit of time to really understand what was happening with Web3. I was introduced initially with NFTs, and then it took a little bit for me to understand what was really going on. So then I had to do some more digging, learning, researching. And then I said, well, everybody's got to really know what's happening because this is going to be a big shift all at once. But sounds like you're more on the augmenting of reality and the virtual reality and the metaverse and the spatial. You're in that part of the Web3 that we're just getting introduced to. So when you think about everything that you've achieved in the technology and some of the products I saw, what keeps you up at night? What do you worry about that you're seeing take place now or worry about in the future? Is there anything that concerns you that you really kind of have in the back of your mind saying, boy, I hope this don't happen?
No, I guess for my company, our biggest worry is just getting funding, just getting the funds, meeting the right people to fund us so we could actually launch before Apple into the space for real. So we want to be first to the market and really bring this to people and bring it with the culture, you know. And yeah, but we also, so my company also, we're crypto NFTs as well. We have
tell us about that.
We plan to have a token we want to drop ourselves. And so because we look at blockchain, it's very like the transaction layer of blockchain is powerful to my mind. So cryptocurrencies, the problem is people see it as a scam and stuff because nobody's really bringing it to the user in a useful way. Other than like Bitcoin, of course, Bitcoin is like what cryptocurrency really was built on. Being a currency and being a borderless currency, allowing people from anywhere in the world to be able to interact and transact and have our own economy. Because right now, like with the US dollar as the reserve currency, I think people really understand like dollars are very valuable when you go around the world, but people can't get access to dollars, right? And so if you're in certain countries, like countries in Africa, or even like Southeast Asia, poorer countries, like just having the ability to get access to capital on dollars is just almost non-existent, right? And so they can't really take place in this global economy. And that's why you stay in poverty, you know, it's hard to move up. But what blockchain and crypto does, it allows people, if I'm an artist in Zimbabwe, I could get people in America who support me to send me cryptocurrency and I can have money. I can get paid for my talent and my skills or whatever it is instantly. And it's frictionless and borderless. I don't have to go to a third party provider like PayPal, somebody hoping that, or a credit card company hoping that they could support my business. So that's really the power of cryptocurrency, and I think DeFi is also the huge thing that's going to change the world. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. I think people should look into that if they haven't.
I know basically from what I understand and learn, you're absolutely on point, because not only would it be supportive with the decentralization for the musicians and everything else that you're talking about, but what I had found out is the unbanked and those that don't have identity, it makes life a lot simpler in moving money around and getting involved, at least having an ability to come into and improve your quality of life or pay less for monies than you would be paying for fees in the traditional landscape. So in the area of being unbanked and the things I had learned, I saw it very powerful with what's happening in the whole Web3 space, how it could be very helpful to a lot of undeserved, underprivileged populations and countries globally in the DeFi space and all the different areas that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. So I think right now it's like 1.6 billion people on the planet are unbanked. Even in America, 1 in 4 people are unbanked. So what people don't realize, what banking does, it allows you access to capital, right? And based on your zip code, having access to a bank, it pretty much dictates your position in life, where you're going to be. And so people in poor neighborhoods, we all see it. You have to drive around, you'll see a check cashing place or a loan place. And if you go there, you get a loan, you're probably paying interest for like 275% interest. It's pretty much, it's a payday loan. So like you can't get up, you can't get over. Well, you go to a real bank, the bank has the power to access the capital. Say you have an idea, you want to start a business, you can go to a bank and the bank can say, oh, I like the idea. Here you go, here's a loan, 8%, whatever, pay us back. And that's allow you to be free to grow your wealth, right? Having access to that capital. So people around the world, what DeFi's allow, if, for example, say you own some Bitcoin, whatever, you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, it's going up in value. You could take out a loan against your Bitcoin, and now you can take that excess capital and invest that into your business, whatever. And people in America, you might think, oh, okay, whatever, because we kind of spoiled, we have banks and everything. But in some places, I mean, $100 is the life change. They could do a lot with $100 and really start their own change things. So by them having access to that capital, using Bitcoin as leverage, or whatever cryptocurrency it is as leverage, take out a loan in USDC, which is a stable coin, a digital dollar, and now take that capital and invest in themselves is powerful. And that's the future. And I think DeFi, even in America, I think once even like the unbanked understands the power of DeFi, that's really where I think the power and the sauce is going to be, especially for our community who have issues getting loans for traditional banks and access to capital. That's going to be game changing,
Are you involved in any projects that we should be aware of, or that you're interested in getting involved with, or you have some secret going on you want to share with us in regards to some projects or some ideas going forward? What do you have on your plate that you haven't mentioned right now?
So we have our own token that we are planning to drop sometime this year. It's called Lumen. And then we have our NFT project, which will be our smart glasses. Our smart glasses themselves would be the NFT. It would be based for basic like verification, authentication. So we're this company we work with, Untitled Tech. We'll laser engrave this QR code, unique QR code on the glasses. And you'll scan that and it'll take you to a digital asset that lets you know that this is authentic and this is your real glasses, not counterfeit. We're planning to drop that sometime soon as well. So that's what. And then as far as projects I'm a part of the ICGU collective.
Yes.
And I'm part of a group in New Orleans called New Society.
So Communities are big. I didn't mean to cut you off. Communities are big. Can you expand on the first one that you mentioned and then tell us about the second community as well? Communities are really big in the Web3 space. That's a whole different environment, a whole nother dynamic and opportunity that I don't think a lot of people are really clear about. They hear about the community and the importance and gamification and NFTs and incentives. How is that working? Or can you expand a little bit more on the ICGU?
Yeah, so it's a collective. It's a community of just people who all, I say visionaries, who all want to. We all like-minded and who want to do things and to change the world for the better. So it's an art piece. The art piece is like the NFTs. The art is kind of like your identifier. People know like, oh, that person. It's like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I'm part of this group. I'm part of this community. We all share the same vision for the future. And it's all kind of things: music, art. We just bring musical artists, actual artists, entrepreneurs all together, and we all just collaborate and network and come together, work on projects to expand. Move the ball forward for the world. And then New Society doing the same thing. I have in New Orleans. It's a local NFT collective, and pretty much the same thing. It's all a bunch of like-minded visionaries all together, and we get to share and network. And the good thing about ICG, it's global. So you have people from all around the world who's part of this collective, and we all get to people who I would never meet, I would never have met, or probably had never crossed my network or path. And now we all together under one umbrella. So that's the power.
So is there any collaborations or alignments going on any alliances in these communities, or is it just sharing information, or is there any real money being made with each other? How's that going, and how does it impact the branding?
Right now, so for ICGU and ViiM Tech, we are in a partnership. Of course, we haven't put anything out to the public yet. We're still pre-launch, but yeah, we have a lot of things we're cooking up together as a collective, our partnership, and we're even planning to, in the future, have ICGU collective, like signature style glasses. So good thing about the glasses are wearable. So we have like two like classic styles, but then we also have, we're gonna have signature lines where we can partner with people, put out limited edition. They design their own style glasses. We put our tech on it, and that's things we in the works as well.
So then you're looking for some serious contracts. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, there's opportunities like that. Yes, many opportunities. It's just based on however you want to like collaborate and partner with each other. There's many opportunities.
So the opportunities are global and national and regional. So that's really the benefit of being in those communities then, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You sound so formal. Making me feel old. Well, that's okay. Maybe it's the military background that's coming out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, professional,
I ain't had nobody call me ma'am in a long time. I love it. In a way I don't. But anyways, let me move on. I gotta get past that. So you surprised me on that one. So as we go forward, what do you think is going to take for metaverse to be really more acceptable and get mass adoption? That's something I've had a lot of questions on. People hear about metaverse and they hear about these realities and virtual realities. Is that something that's upcoming in the next year or two, or how long do you think all that metaverse and everything is going to take? Or are they two different things, really? That's another question I always get.
Yeah, so when you have AR, so AR and VR, when you combine the two, it's called MR, mixed reality. I think that's more what's going to be mainstream. So my company, our glasses are smart glasses. They're actually like actual glasses that you can wear. So they're actually like sunglasses are clear. We have two lenses. You can have the sunglass lens or the clear lens. So I think that's the area that's really going to bring the adoption to the masses. The VR goggles, more for indoor. Most people, especially our age, like unless you're a gamer, you're probably not gonna really go too deep into like the metaverse VR. You know what I mean, like reality. But as far as the mixed reality, where you merge and you have the glasses like we have, I think, yes, everybody's going to be in on that. The spatial web, what I'm talking about earlier, that's going to be where everybody really comes into. And I think within the next 3 years, it'll be here. Everybody will be in it, and everybody will see the value of it.
So in the spatial web, when you get all that information, looking at a building and everything else, does that still utilize smart contracts? I'm kind of curious about that. Is that still operating in the background?
Yes, you can if you want. It depends on the people who develops the software. So you can have smart contracts tied to it. We will in our own spatial web. That's what we're doing, but it's not a must. It's not. It has to, but we are, because we are Web3. We understand the value and the power of smart contracts it could bring to the world. So when on our platform, yes, smart contracts will be provided because so picture a world. So you're a owner of a restaurant. I mean, not a restaurant, of a store, right? Boutique, a storefront. Just like in Web 1.0, how you all had everybody had to create a website, right? For their business. Right. In the future, everybody gonna have to create an AR experience for their business, and so people would be able to, anyone in the world, go into your, virtual store, and they'll pull it up, and they'll be able to go shopping or do whatever, and transact. And small contracts to be involved in that because they can have purchases in crypto or purchases in fiat. So yes.
So that brings me to my last question that I'm sure my listeners and your listeners want some clarification on. So when we start hearing about people having NFT marketplaces and real estate being sold and buildings and different countries and different things being sold, all of that is moving towards the virtual reality, the mixed reality?
No, it's both. You have land, like in this virtual world, you have land that you could buy and sell, but also real property will be tokenized as well, kind of like an NFT using blockchain technology. But that's going to take a long time before that one happens, because you have to take all the governments have to get on board first, and the contracts. So the tech is there, but the government, the contract, the law is not there yet. So until they law the government, because in the future, for example, a property, right, Airbnb, what this technology could do, it will allow that all of us, we don't know each other. We all could buy a percentage of this property, this Airbnb property,
right,
and rent it out. People could come in, rent out Airbnb. We can have a smart contract, and we get paid distributed equally without even doing anything. It would just automatically just be. So you get your 10%, I'll get my 20%, 30%, whatever it is, and that'll allow everybody to be having access to own property and have advantage of getting income from that property, right? So that's the future. That's going to be here. It's just the law, getting the law and the contract.
The governance. Yeah, the governance isn't here.
And to catch up, to the technology, to be able to sort that out and how they want to do it, KYC. Because crypto ethos is all about being decentralized and you not knowing that I own part of this. But the government going to be like, no, we want to know who owns part of this land. So that's where you have at the time to say, and the government want their taxes too, right? They want to make sure they get their tax cut. So that's why I say, once the technology catches up, but to answer your question, it's both real world and virtual world. Both would be, virtual is already easy to do, right? It's already there because you don't need the government. The government's not involved in virtual ownership, so they don't really care about you owning some land in some metaverse game or whatever, So that's happening right now. You can own land, Decentraland, it's a platform we have. But as far as the real world, real property, that's coming as well. But it's just going to take time as the government catches up to the tech.
So that's where everybody says it's the wild, wild west right now. Because right now the government hasn't totally caught up, and a lot of things are progressing in the technology side.
Right.
But the governance and laws are still trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
Let me just go on and say it out loud.
Yeah. The issue is a lot of people, in my opinion, a lot of people who are in tech people don't really care about laws and land, and they don't understand how the world really works. Not saying they not, but a lot of tech people are just like, like it's very technical, boo, boo, boo. Hey, you can do it. And like they don't understand, like you gotta go to the government, you gotta get these first. I think you start with your state, your local government, probably the easiest to get first on board. So people need to work with city council members, stuff like that. Get a city to like approve this, and then you could try to branch out to the federal government. So it's gonna be long, slow steps, but it's even hard because a lot of people who you would need to be on board still don't understand. They think it's all a scam, right? Crypto's a scam, NFT's a scam, because there's so much like nonsense out there. But the tech is so powerful if done correctly, and actually, we have real business people like myself involved with the tech. You can see how the world could change.
What I saw is exactly what you're saying, is that a lot of the major foundations, a lot of big nonprofits, some of the brands that really took the time to execute the NFT appropriately, and there's a lot of shippers and people trying to move in the direction to make life simpler for mankind overall, but because of the lack of understanding, everything is kind of dragging along and getting stopped because there's not any understanding in the population or mass adoption. Right. Therein lies me trying to share and have guests like yourself who can put it in regular old-fashioned terms on what's going on, and everything is not a scam. There's bad actors out there, but there's a lot of great actors out there too, and there's a lot of benefits, efficiencies, and operational needs that we need today. So
the thing is, a lot of people, so even if I was in the Air Force, I had another company too. In my former life, I was also a concert promoter. I did big concerts where all this like Nicki Minaj, Drake. So I actually understand running a business. So while they're in the space, a lot of people came to the space, they don't understand how to run a business. So they'll do a project. They look at it as a project, but they look at it as actual business. And so that's why we see on these issues, because people don't have any background in actually operating and running the business. But if you understand how to run and operate a business, and you leverage this tech to enhance your business, that's where the real
sky's the limit
happens, right? So the thing is getting people who actually understand how to run and operate a business, getting them to understand the tech, because most of them don't understand the tech. So you have people who understand the tech, but they don't know how to run a business. And then you have people who actually know how to run a business and operate one successfully, but they don't understand the technology. They're not deep in the weeds like how I am in 2016. So I've been deep in the weeds.
So I'm kind of chuckling right now because that's why they got old girl out here, okay? Because I was retired. And everybody's like, oh, she retired. She understands this? Right. Oh, she retired and she did that in her past. Well, maybe she could help us over here in the future since she did that in her past. And all of a sudden I had value. So I'm saying all that to say that you are absolutely right in what you're saying. What people have been sharing in regards to technology, everything is not a scam. There's some serious efficiencies, a lot of things that we can leverage to improve society, a lot of things we can do to help the unbanked, different populations, underserved, underprivileged. And also there's a lot of capitalistic moments of opportunity that can really take place here if we seize the benefits appropriately. So how can people reach you? How can people connect with you? Is there anything else you want to share until I have you back again? Because you're going to have to come back.
Definitely follow my company. It's ViiM.Tech on IG and Twitter, ViiM.Tech. And you can also find me on Twitter, IG. It's J of ViiM. So my double name is Roger Johnson, but I go by nickname is Jay. So most people know me as Jay. I just really started telling people my government name. That's their whole hard, that old intel inside of me.
It's okay, baby. We did that back in the 70s too. We had different names too. Don't worry about it. You good. Okay, I got you. So with that said, thank you everybody for listening to Pivoting with Web3 podcast. And we are going to be shaping tomorrow together. So thank you, Roger Johnson. And thank you all until we talk again, listen again, and have a great day. Have an awesome time. And thank you once again for letting me serve. Have a good day. Thanks for listening to Pivoting to Web3 at pivotingtoweb3.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that it gets to you with every episode that comes out. We have lots of great opportunities, limitations, and downward spirals being revealed by our guests. And thank you in advance for all your reviews and comments. I appreciate you so much. I look forward to serving you in the next week's episode.